A U.S. Navy fast attack submarine just sent an Iranian frigate straight to the bottom of the Indian Ocean with a single Mark 48 torpedo. The first combat torpedo sinking of an enemy ship since World War II. That bad boy hit so deep it's satisfied in all the right spots, but not for the IRGC. Obviously, this strike was on the IRIS Dena, a Moog-class warship with up to 180 crew members from the IRGC Navy. This happened while the ship was cruising home from an Indian Milan naval exercise. Kind of bad timing to be cruising back home when it's a war, and your entire rest of your comrades in the IRGC Navy have been evaporated. This was in international waters off the coast of Sri Lanka, and this move blows the fight wide open even more against Iran's Navy. The U.S. Navy is flexing global reach and surgical precision, proving that no Iranian hole is safe no matter where it tries to hide. Stick around, because we're diving into the full war update, how this sub's hunter-killer playbook played out, and then at the end, we'll talk about the actual mission itself and how this went down from the perspective of a crew member on that submarine. But check out this breaking news right now. Hundreds of Kurdish fighters launch a ground offensive in Iran. Now, the Kurdish fighters look like they're pouring into Iran, and they've had some beef with the regime for a long time, with the regime basically trying to slay these Kurds. So the Kurds basically see an opportunity now to come in and strike down the IRGC. And then this is coming in from routers. Israel's next phase of the attack will likely be underground missile sites, but specifically underground ballistic missile sites, because right now, Iran is trying to hide as many ballistic missiles as they can underground in concrete and steel-covered bunkers. So this is going to unleash a new wave of attacks, and Israel is going to specifically focus on the underground bunkers. Likely the U.S. coming in as well, since the U.S. has B-52s that are now able to go in and do stand-in bombing. And this is directly from the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff and the Secretary of War. And then, here's an article about Sri Lanka trying to safeguard lives on a second Iranian ship that is going into the same area where the Dana was struck. So it's like Sri Lanka is like, oh, IRGC, we'll take care of you. Come on in. The IRGC is like, hey, we just killed 35,000 of our own people. Is it cool if we come and hang out in Sri Lanka? Do you guys have an extra room for us? And then, this is an interesting article from The Guardian. It says, in a Trump war with great power comes no responsibility. So The Guardian always gives me great content to talk about. And then he also goes on to say that in a constitutional system built on checks and balances, the system is supposed to constrain the use of military force before it unfolds. Well, actually Section 2, Article 2 of the War Powers Act gives power to the president to enact war in crucial times for 60 to 90 days. Primarily, the 60 days are supposed to be used for combat operations, and then the last 30 are supposed to be used to withdraw the troops in a very safe manner and not rush the withdrawal. And then the article goes on to say that President Obama struck a masterful deal with Iran that set up the world for peace forever. But at the end of the day, what President Obama did was give billions of dollars to Iran. Iran was like, yeah, we won't build a nuclear program for a few years. We'll take your $100+ billion though, and we're going to build 5,000 ballistic missiles. But we didn't build the nukes that we talked about. And then Iran's basically next they're going to use those ballistic missiles to protect their overall objective of that nuclear weapon. So here we go, guys. Here's the latest breaking news from CENTCOM. We've got some strikes happening on Iranian Air Force, Shahed drones being taken down, F-5s, goodbye F-5. You were a cool fighter jet at one point, but yeah, we don't want the IRGC having F-5s anymore. So good luck. F-5's gone. Shahed drones gone, some probably those C-130s will be taken out at some point too. But focusing on the fighters, because those could actually go up and threaten the B-52s. You know, there's going to be F-22s and F-35s that would just be begging those F-5s to take off. Shock and awe. Something weird happens. Let's say there's a formation of F-22s, and they get pulled away for a higher tasking. There's a B-52 in the area. B-1, you can't have these F-5s up there. So that's kind of the point of taking those things down. We've got some fact checks right now. So Iran is circulating rumors. Imagine that. Iran rumors? Really? Oh no. Well, they've never gaslit us before, but they're circulating rumors on social media of a US F-15E crash in Iran early Wednesday, and they're baseless and not true. U.S. forces control the skies by launching from the sea. Yep, launching from the sea.